Maybe I'll do that. Are we live? Hey, you guys. Hopefully we're live. We'll see what happens. We have to do a mic check really quickly, though. So, if you guys could just say, hey, how you doing? And let us know that you can see us and hear us. And let us know where you guys are joining us from. That would be awesome. I'm not seeing any comments yet. It says we have 2 people. We're on time. You guys don't know what to do with that, do you? Funny enough. And still my soul refuses to die.
We're on YouTube.
Oh, good. I was worried about YouTube. Take me to the king.
I'm not coming through.
You're not coming through at all? Is it your mic?
Remember, I think it's because you.
Oh, it's because of the. You think it's picking up this mic instead of. You know what? Let's do something really quickly.
Fine. Just not reading the second.
Yeah. I wonder if I can add a mic. Oh. Are you warm, babe?
Damn.
Okay. No, I was just going to suggest we turn the air off because they can't hear you. That's no fun.
You sound.
So you have to talk loud. You know what you're saying? We should have worked on that. Let me see something. Can you turn it back on for me, babe? Yeah. Okay. Try again. Because I added a second mic. We're sorry, you guys. We'll be right there. We're getting ourselves together. You're the roadcaster, right? Hmm. We could add your phone and just not turn your camera on. It is, baby. People like to have you. Are you going to talk really loud? Okay. All righty. Good evening, you guys. Welcome, welcome. For those of you who are new, my name is Royce Hunt Bell, and the voice that you barely hear behind the camera is my husband, David Bell. We have new technology, you guys, so we're trying to figure everything out still, again, some more. I had my StreamYard all figured out, but it stopped working on YouTube, so we switched. I mean, not StreamYard. What was the other one, babe? We had the other program all figured out, but it stopped connecting with YouTube. So we moved to StreamYard. And so we're now trying to figure out all this new technology. So give us grace. But I'm excited for tonight, babe. Can you want to say hi to everybody really loud so they can hear you? No? Okay. Grumpy Dave is here with us tonight. So I will say hi to everybody. Let me go back. Maybe. You can't hear yourself at all or just a little bit? Let's see. Angie Champagne. Hey, Angie, Michelle, Greg. Lisa, Shirley Brown. Oh Lord. Oh, Luana Vassallo. See, I'm gonna try to pronounce y'all's name right. I always give David a hard time. Mary, is it Freitas? Am I saying that right, Mary? Let me know. Hey Marty Hardy, Christine, Boris, Joy Curry, Dos Cabezas Craft Center. That's we already know that's Dorothy. And TLC's Handmade Gifts. Hey Connie, welcome, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I am super excited about tonight's project. Hey Cindy, because so should I start at the beginning of the story, babe, or the middle? At the beginning. So some of you guys know I serve on our local board of directors for our Chamber of Commerce. And we had a rural policy forum here. And the rural policy forum is like an annual event that happens in different rural communities in Arizona. And you have leadership, municipalities, nonprofit leaders, local businesses who get together. And we kind of discuss the challenges of living in rural communities as far as like economic development and bless you, babe. And then ways that we can address those challenges. And then there are some communities that may have done something that was really successful, so they'll come and they'll share that idea at the Rural Policy Forum. I digress. I love it. I have not been for a really long time, and I was happy to be able to attend, and we were excited to be able to host this year. So one of the things that we did that happens every year, but for this year, I was able to go on the economic development tour. And so you get on a bus with a whole bunch of people and you drive around and you look at like, it's not always businesses, but here in Safford, I guess the airport isn't considered like a business, right? You look at projects that are going on in those rural communities and just kind of how they function. That's true, it's a business. So one of the places we went for our tour, you guys, was a local manufacturer. They make labels, and I mean millions of labels for companies all over. Companies that you guys probably have labels from Stafford on your dryer or your electronics right now, and you don't even know.
My understanding is at least at one point they were doing the Campbell soup labels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they still do, but they did have something.
I mean, I saw a lot of brands I recognized when I was touring the place. So we're touring and we're supposed to be doing an economic development tour, and all I was focused on was the trash. There were like bins and bins at the end of each of the machines of like all this stuff. So Holly, who was the HR director there, just happens to be on the tour on the chamber board of directors with me. And so I mentioned to she and her husband that I really would like to go and like pick their trash. And y'all know what? They let me. They let me go pick. So I'm going to show you guys like a short snippet of a video of my day there picking stuff. And then we're going to make something with something that I scored while I was there. Oh, Lord, what did I do? I should not be touching stuff. So I'm going to show you guys a really short snippet of my visit. But I am working on like a full YouTube video. And if you guys have ideas for any of the stuff you guys see, y'all can let me know that tonight too. So let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. There's no sound. There's just me. Like, look at that, you guys. That wagon is full of stuff. Just random stuff. But look at that honeycomb cardboard. I am probably the most excited about that. Anyways, so that was my trip to the label manufacturer. And what I scored was, you guys saw the wagon. That wasn't even the end of the day. That was just like halfway through. I have a whole stuff in all of the back of my car is full. So what I pulled out for us to play with today is one thing specifically. This is like a core. So let me show you guys. It's like a core. You guys don't like the inside because they have these huge things of labels that they're printing. And so they have all these cores. They actually repurpose these. They have a machine where they'll cut them down to size where they need them. But they were nice enough to let me snag a couple of them. But I snagged this huge one, which I've already prepped for tonight's project. And this is what we're going to work on. So this is a core, just like these were, right? The cardboard. But I did attach, Holly gave me like this really thick piece of plastic. There was like rolls of it that I got out of I don't like trash. We need another word, baby. Not out of the trash. I got them out of the
Remainder bin.
out of the remainder bins. That's what we'll call it. And so I just taped it onto the bottom, and then I taped all around my tube here just to make like the surface even, because you guys know how they always have these like pieces right here where the cardboard comes together. I didn't want that to show through our project, and so when I taped it on, I had like tape coming over, and so I just taped all the way around. So that's all I did to prep for today, and I did use some brown tape. This is like regular painter's tape. It's just brown. I bought this for my mixed media pieces because I like the way it looks. So that is where we are, and now we're going to go forward, and I'm going to see. You have any questions, babe?
No.
No?
Yeah.
No questions? Pillsbury pop lines, right, Angie? Exactly. Exactly. Um, there's no shame. It was so much fun. And for those of you who signed up for the retreat next year, I've already made arrangements for me to go and buy supplies for us to use the retreat next year too. So I'm going to set these aside. I'll probably do something, not probably. I'm going to do something with these, but I actually want to finish a project. So I thought we would focus and just do one thing tonight. Is that okay with you guys? So I had so many different ideas. I thought I'd do a faux crock with this, like faux crockery, which would be so fun. But then I started looking at decoupage papers. The corrugated metal would have been really cute on this. The faux crockery, the crockery. I have a paper with like crockery textures on it. That would have been fun on this. But ultimately, I decided that I wanted to do a fall project. And so I have this, which is our piece we're going to work on. I also pulled out a piece of the new Royce fall, oh Lord, I think it's Fall Flock. Is that? I think that was the final name that I named of this one. Kind of because I wanted to show you guys something. With my master boards, I try to think about how you guys are going to use these. And one of the things that I did on this one was I made kind of a strip on the top. If you guys, I noticed a lot of times that you guys do a lot of like toolboxes or boxes, and a lot of these are oriented to be like portraits, but you do have this strip at the top that's perfect for like the side of like a toolbox or a box. So we're going to use that piece on our piece today. And I also have out, hold on, let me try to gather myself. I also pulled out, I have one of the new molds from IOD. I got my packaging from Kathy at Vintage Dames. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't find anything on here I wanted to use. I wanted to use something new from IOD, but I didn't necessarily find anything that I wanted to use today. I know that I want to use this really pretty label today. And then I pulled out, this is one of my favorite, the Verdes. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I thought this would be a pretty mold to add to the top of this. So I'm going to put you guys down to my table, and we are going to get busy. I think I'm going to prime this first and set it aside, and then we can work on our mold, and we can circle back to decoupaging this piece. So I want to get done tonight. I'm going to try to like finish the project. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Ooh, perfect. Okay. So let's start with the prime. So I'm going to prime this. I'm just using primer because this tape is a little like, I don't know, it's not slick, but it is kind of. So I just want to make sure that, did I get the primer? I did. I tried to get myself together because I knew I was going to try to do a lot today. And I'm using my scissors to open my paint. So look away. Just look away. Hello, Susan from Texas. How are you? So I'm going to put some primer on this, and I like to decoupage over white as a general rule so that my artwork is the star of the piece. And so that's why you guys see me often starting off with a white base. And I'm going to make a faux crockery too. That was just going to be a lot more involved. Actually, I have like some some resin. It's like a resin. It's like a concrete resin. I bought it from Tracy's Fancy. I'm going to see if I can cover one of these to make it look like a crock. But I'm going to have to experiment. And then I'll come back to you guys and let you know how it went. Because I don't know if it would work like that. Super quick coat. I'm really just putting this on so that everything will be white. And you guys know what? I posted in my group today, or no, not in the group. I actually posted on my page today, and it was a question. What is the question, babe? It's right there on your board.
What problem does Roycycle help you solve in your creative life?
Yeah, so what, if you guys would help me, I'm doing market research. Generally in October, I make plans for the next year. So as we plan for 2026, I want to make sure that whatever we do, that it benefits you guys. So I would like to know, to help me plan, what problems does Roycycled help you guys with creatively? I mean, I guess I could have just made it generic. So what problems do I solve for you guys? I'm curious to know. And then I have another question too. I should write it down because y'all know I'm gonna forget if I don't. But we'll do that one later on. So just a super quick white coat. I guess I'll do the bottom too. I was doing some research earlier this week, and one of the number one questions asked about decoupage is, can you decoupage plastic? And the answer is absolutely, you can decoupage plastic. You probably want to do a scuff sand if it's a really smooth plastic, and then follow up with a primer, a gripping primer, and then you can decoupage on top of that. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry while we pour our resin to make our mold. I'm trying to find a safe place in my mess to put that. Is anybody answering, baby? No, is anybody answering my question? You know what, Susan? I'm looking. I see on YouTube. Susan's asking. It's just a core, like it's kind of like a toilet paper roll, but an industrial one. It's like bigger and thicker. So it's just a cardboard like core from some labels, because I went dumpster diving at a label manufacturer. So you have to watch the replay because I did show a video. And you guys, make sure and check in Tuesday morning by 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have a video up on my YouTube channel, and I'll share with you guys my whole trip to the manufacturer, and then it'll probably be this. You guys are going to help me make a video today on how to repurpose the stuff that I got from the manufacturer.
About an 1/8 of an inch thick.
The what? The
walls of the tube.
Oh yeah. Is that about an 1/8 of an inch?
It's not a quarter.
No, it's not a quarter. About an 1/8 of an inch thick. It's thick though, right? Because these are like, yeah, they're thick. They're hardy.
Lorenzo says, you help me with colors and not being afraid to try new things.
I love that. And let me tell y'all, so I've been taking, a lot of you guys know I've been taking art classes. I didn't pull it out when I was getting ready for my resin. And everything that I like have been telling you guys, I have to tell myself. Because I've moved into another world where I don't know a lot. I have to encourage myself. Sorry, I'm looking for a measuring cup. I need to get one for my resin. You know what? I work so hard to try to remember everything. I feel like I always forget at least one thing. It just never fails.
Karen Smith Macy says, hi, David. Hi, Karen.
See, baby, you guys tell him that you guys want to hear from him. He doesn't think that you guys need to hear. And if you are new here, yes, we do a lot of chit chatting here. I do have tutorials on my regular YouTube channel. If you like more succinct tutorials, you can try there. But we come here to hang out, to visit, to catch up, and to learn. So it is super chatting here.
Stop.
I think. I'm upset with myself because I need to pour this resin. I'm trying to think if I have any clay. The resin is pretty, it's not super pressing to me, but I'm going to try to eyeball it. We're going to see what happens. You guys get to see my my naked sweatpants. That's what my daughter-in-law calls them, because they're almost the same color as my skin, so it looks like it looks like I'm walking around naked. I'm not. Oh my gosh, Roy. Okay, let me change my energy. So I can find it. You guys ever notice when you're looking for something in a hurry, you don't find it? And then, like, after you calm down, it was right there looking at you?
Different hosting, sound quality is poor. Yeah, no argument, Catherine.
I know you guys cannot hear David. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. If I turn it loud enough to hear David, Royce blows me out of the room. It's Michelle Gray. Yeah, that's why I'm not talking tonight.
So with our new program, when we first on Light David in, let's do that second floor. It's only first on Light David in, so we can't hear her too well. I am so upset. Okay, I guess we'll focus on decoupaging, and then maybe we'll do the rest next week. I'm sad. I wanted to finish today. I mean, 2 weeks from now. Take me to you. You guys should see me getting ready for the ride. I'm like running around at least 2 hours trying to get everything together. So I really do hate to get something. And this one's hard to recover from. Usually I can just wing it. What did you say you saw a cut, baby? You said you saw a cut. Oh, it has something in it. Okay, I have an acrylic. I have this cup. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to eyeball it. We're going to see what happens. Worst case scenario, you guys will learn what not to do. This is probably it. Make sure that you have your measurements set up. So I'm going to be using Aluminite's amazing casting resin. It sets up in 10 minutes. The old one used to be 7 minutes, but 10 minutes is probably better because I have more working time. So I'm going to add 50% of A and 50% of B, and I'm going to add them together in one jar and mix it together, and then I'm going to pour it. And then we're going to see what happens because I'm not measuring. I'm eyeballing. And usually if I am pouring something like really detailed or persnickety, I will pour less resin than more. The more resin that you pour at the same time, the more heat it produces and the quicker it sets up. So if you're doing something like the Harper mold where you have those little tiny letters, if you pour less, you're less likely to have it harden on you in your cup. And so I'm going to mix this together. And I'm going to pray that I'm not going to ruin my molds. No, they won't be ruined. I can get it out. It'll just be a pain in the tush. And the cool thing about using resin is it stays pliable for a little bit before it sets up completely. And so even though we're working on something round, I should still be able to get it on there. And I always pour out my biggest mold first because, again, the heat that the resin produces causes it to cure faster. So if you pour your larger mold first, then you have less resin in your cup and you're less likely to have to deal with that reaction. We had a guest inside of our membership yesterday, and she taught us so much about resin, stuff that I had quite frankly never even thought about before. You know how you there are some things that you don't know because you don't even know what questions to ask? It was that kind of situation. Oh man, like I would have never even known to ask the questions to learn what she told us yesterday because I don't know enough about resin to even know to ask those questions. So it was really interesting. And as a general rule, it's not every single month, but most months we do have a guest inside of my membership. And I love it because they bring expertise that I don't have. And the ladies that are in our membership are all so freaking talented. And they all have their own like areas of expertise. So what happens is we'll have someone, like we have somebody in the group. Rima is our resident resin expert. And so she knew enough to ask specific questions to even help the rest of us get more out of Nancy's presentation, which is nice. And then generally she's in the group so that if somebody has questions about resin, she can answer the questions for them. And then we had a guest month before last because we were talking about screen stencils for most of them. We were talking about painting fabric, which led us to a conversation about screen stencils. And we have Tony, who owns like a screen printing business for 30 years. So like she's our resident expert on that. So it's nice just being in a group of creatives who are really passionate about creating and they know their stuff. So we're all learning from each other. And of course, I teach inside of the membership. And we have guests who come in on a regular basis to teach things that I don't know about.
Cindy Crowder loves to work with this.
Oh my gosh, I do. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love pouring in the molds with resin. I feel like because we're pouring it in as a liquid, it captures all the details a lot quicker. This one I domed it a little bit, so it's not going to be completely flat, but I don't know how to fix that. Cindy, you think I can take some out without ruining it? Probably not. I'm going to leave well enough alone. It'll be fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. And even if it's not fine, it's fine. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and add a little heat to this so that it cures quicker. Michelle says it would be nice to be able to clearly hear David. I love his input. So.
To my podcast at beavervalleycentral.net.
She actually has a good suggestion that maybe if we turn me down a little bit and turn you way up. Oh yeah, but his mic doesn't work at all. Can you guys hear David at all?
I talk like this literally.
Okay.
It's just.
And since David's voice is what he does for his work, I can't make him yell for an hour and a half. He needs his voice. You gotta work. Oh, you're gonna go in and do the weather, huh? Yeah, look, I live with the weatherman, and there's some days I still don't know what's going to happen. Hey, Ruth. Oh, yeah, that's right. You have to cover. I want this to seal just well enough so I can set it aside and it won't like run anywhere. So I'm just, look at, I missed that little corner right there. Okay, I think I'm okay. I should be able to set this over here out of the way. And we'll let that finish curing. And let's circle back to our upcycled tube here. Let me finish drying that because it's not quite dry enough. Dorothy says she can hear you faintly. I would turn the air off, but David is warm, so that might help. Sorry, guys. We'll get it. We have to get it figured out. So we're using an entirely new software. Our other software allowed us to run 2 mics, and if anybody uses StreamYard and you guys have figured out how to run 2 mics, let me know. Okay.
Well, and this is only the second time you're using this particular program.
It is. It is.
You had to switch programs to get back on YouTube.
I did, because my other one would not stream to YouTube anymore. It's so irritating.
Gypsy Ruth, her Bert says you can sand it to make it flat.
Oh, okay.
Gypsy Ruth says, binging on your shorts, have you ever tried resin crete?
You know, I was just talking about resin crete. So I have it. I bought it from Tracy's Fancy. She's in Oregon or Washington, somewhere up in that North Pacific area. I bought some from her, and so I have it here. And I'm actually, do you know if it, because I was thinking I could coat one of these with it, if that would work, and let it cure, and then I would have something that would be similar, like really similar to a crock, right? Anyways, I do have resin crete, and I'm going to play with it. It's not resin crete, but it's like resin crete. It's the same type of product. When it cures, it looks more like a ceramic. So I have a new product. It's Artisans. Oh, what is it? Artisans Enhancements, I think is the name of the brand. They sent me a box, and the reason why I was interested in this one is because all of their products are water-based, and they're non-toxic, low VOC, and they're eco-friendly. So I'm always looking for that in a brand. And so they were nice enough to send me some stuff. They have a varnish that I'm not ready to. You guys know me. I test all my stuff first before I start making recommendations. So I have a piece that I varnished, and it's sitting outside in Arizona during monsoon season. That is like the best test ever, right? For a varnish. So I decoupage something, and it's sitting outside. So I'm testing their varnish to see if I want to recommend it. So I will get back to you guys on that. But this is a decoupage product that they sent me to try. So we are going to try it together tonight. And so I'm going to be using the Royce the fall block decoupage paper. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut this whole band off the top. But let me see. I think if I cut right there all the way across, I'll be good. We were talking in our membership yesterday about how when we have our craft spaces, like you clean up and you have all this space, and then as the days go on, the space that you have to actual work gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm at that smaller pace at this point. I was live yesterday in a group. My dear friend Michelle, she has a packet of ephemera that she sends out every month to her members, and she was celebrating her 2nd birthday. So a bunch of us popped into her group and did projects with her packet of ephemera. And I only had an hour. Let me tell y'all, I felt like I was under pressure. And I'm laughing at myself because I remember the first time somebody suggested that I go live for 40 minutes. I was just like, 40 minutes? What on earth could I do for a whole 40 minutes? And look at this now. I really like this piece. I want that on there. And this is really pretty. I love this feather right here. Oh man, I cut the top off of my favorite. I said I wasn't going to do that, but it's too late. wasn't
If
hearing
you
you.
said you could do resin creep today.
No, we won't do it today. Usually, I'll experiment first, and then I'll come back and teach you guys. So I'll experiment with the resin-crete on top of one of my other ones and see if it works.
So Cindy Crowder says, I'm currently watching you and keeping an eye on a sandstorm that's coming my way.
Oh.
And Dorothy Lake said cheese is getting blasted with a taboo.
You know what? So it's windy here too. So Dorothy and I are about 2 hours from each other. We're both in Arizona.
So I'm assuming Cindy's probably in that area too.
Yeah, maybe. Are you in the Tucson area, Cindy? I saw my niece though, Kendall posted that it's the, what did she say? Rub your feet together kind of weather. I don't know, something basically. So there's a storm in Phoenix too, or there was earlier. So in the Phoenix area. So we're in Arizona. So yes, it's super windy here too.
Can I have to yell it, can I make a comment on the space getting smaller and smaller?
Oh, Lord, no. I'm sorry. We can't hear you. You can't make a comment about that.
Maybe if things got put away.
No, no comments on the peanut gallery about, no. Oh, now he's going to be quiet all night now. Be aggressive. Passive aggressive. 5716. Okay, so I'm spritzing my paper. So in my decoupage class, one of the things we went over was how to use a spritzing method with larger projects. And even though this one isn't a larger project, I'm going to use that same method that I taught in that class because it's a longer project. I don't want to miss all my paper at once. So I'm going to miss a little bit at a time from where I'm working. And if you're new here, the reason that I missed my paper is because the number one reason that your decoupage paper wrinkles when you're decoupaging is because your paper starts responding to the moisture in your medium. And so that's why it wrinkles. So when we spray it first, what we're doing is we are kind of getting ahead of the problem. We're misting it, letting it stretch out a little bit, and then we're decoupaging. So that way, when it comes in contact with the medium, it's already stretched and we don't have to worry about it wrinkling. So you guys see that, right? There are no wrinkles whatsoever on that. So I'm going to keep going all the way around and get this decoupaged. And if you guys have any questions, if you guys are new here, because I have like 10,000 new followers, so I don't know how many of them are showing up for the lives, but if you are new to Roycycled, please know that if you have a question, please ask it. There are no such thing as stupid questions. You don't know unless you ask. This is a safe zone. We do not tolerate rudeness because we're all here to learn, right? And to get further on our creative journeys. And we do that by supporting one another. So that is the expectation here. So if you have a question, please do not be afraid to ask the question. And if you're new here and somebody asks a question and you know the answer, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything. Okay, so again, I'm just going to spritz that area that I'm decoupaging. And I left the rest of that dry. And the good thing about the Roycycled decoupage paper that it is an 18-pound paper. So unlike when you work with the napkins, there's no way you could pick up your paper, right? If you're working with napkins, you can actually reposition your paper if you need to. You're going to do it softly. Obviously, it's still wet tissue paper, but it's a heavier tissue paper, so it's hardier than the napkins if that's what you're used to using. But because it's tissue paper, it still kind of melts into the surface. And you guys always see me go over my surface several times. I want to make sure that I've covered everything. When I get questions about bubbles, my first thought is that maybe there was a spot that didn't get either any medium or it didn't get as much medium as the rest. And so that's why the paper bubbles in that little spot.
Catherine Lukowski says Miss Terry Lightsey is the only one I know that uses StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's with Decoupage Queen, right?
Let's
Yeah, I
see.
know a lot of ladies inside of one of my business groups use StreamYard. I'm gonna have to go in there and start asking them questions because I've always used Switcher Studio. That's the,
Cindy Crowder is in Vail.
oh, see, yeah. So you're right outside of Tucson.
Dorothy Lage, this is why I like Dorothy. I put my tools away as I use them.
Mm,
But when you're layering multiple projects, space gets smaller as you reach maximum projects.
yes.
And Kathleen Hubis, did you say 10,000 new followers? Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been posting a lot of reels lately, so um, that's why. And you guys see how I measured my paper and I had just enough and now I have too much? It's because the paper is wet now and so it's actually stretching. So I'm just going to fold this back. I'm not going to try to cut it while it's wet, but I'm not going to let it adhere either. I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. I'm going to start in this space with my dryer and see if I can get this dry enough to be able to trim it.
What's the name of that paper?
This is the Fall Flock, the recycled Fall Flock decoupage paper. This is from the holiday release. I guess it's not new anymore, but it's from the holiday release, so it's fairly new. If you guys are new to Roycycles and you're looking for a retailer, you can check roycycles.com, and we do have a retailer locator there, so you can find someone who's near you. If you don't have anyone, there are retailers who will send to you. And if you're having a really hard time finding someone, I do sell directly, so you can buy on the website as well. But I always encourage you guys to find a local retailer because then you have like a creative buddy that can help you. Oh man, I'm gonna have a little wrinkle. The texture from my tape is showing through a little bit, but that's okay. That's why I want to try that resin creep stuff and see if I can get like a really smooth surface. I want to dry this before I cut it so that it cuts and it doesn't tear. And I'm more likely to get like a nice clean cut. And so I'm going to go ahead and put another coat right over the top of this paper. And then we'll set this aside and let it dry while we prep our molds. And hopefully, well, it cured. I hope I didn't put too much hardener in it because I do need it to be soft enough to wrap around this. I wanted to put a little less hardener in there, but I was scared because I'm not measuring. So I probably overdid it because if you don't put enough hardener, then you just have goop inside your molds, which is a pain in the tush to clean out. Not impossible, but it's a pain. Okay, so I put another coat right over the top of that. And I'm going to set this aside. Are there any questions, babe? Everyone's kind of quiet tonight.
Trying not to. I mean, there's comments like.
Well, I'll tell you what, you ask me the question, and then I'll repeat it and answer it.
No, there are no questions.
Okay.
There's just kind of comments.
Oh. Are there any comments I will respond to if I heard them? Tracy's Fancy's out of Texas. No, not that Tracy then. It's another one. Oh, Lord, because she's in Oregon, I believe, or Washington. You guys know who I'm talking to. Help me out.
Terry Lightsey said yes.
Yes, that's what I thought. And is there a way to do two mics so my husband can have a mic?
No, Terry's not here.
Oh,
Catherine said
okay.
Terry is with her.
Hey, Nita. Thank you so much. She said she loved the new release. So let's look at our molds. I want to paint them. So our paper is like really warm, right? With the oranges and yellows and golds. And so I thought that we could, I made it look, oh, it's still, see how when even with the resin, it stays malleable for a little bit. So I have some working time with this. But if I try to come back tomorrow, it would be a little bit harder. Now, you can get your molds to bend a little bit when after it cures completely by applying heat, but the longer that you wait, the less it's going to bend. So if you're going to use them the way I'm using them tonight, you really want to do it like about the same time. And one of the things I hear people stress about are over pours. You guys see how there's a little bit here? Oh, the white always kills me. See where I over poured a little bit? It's not a big deal. You can just clip those off. So if you poured something and then you get an over pour, just snip it off. That's one thing we crafters can do, is we can fix something, right? And so I'm trying to think if, like, I don't know if I want to, I kept going back and forth in my mind about whether I wanted to like do a metallic on these, or if I just want to go with like a bisque white and then use some dark wax. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys vote. I'm going to go over with a coat of white anyways, just to like prep the surface. But you guys can let me know if we should just do a dark wax over the white, or if I should maybe, Lord have mercy. The bad thing about knowing a lot of techniques is sometimes your brain will not settle. You guys should have seen me trying to settle on what I was going to do for this thing today.
Gypsy Root says that was a great visual on how much the paper stretches. You have a recommendation for sealing a turntable so I can use it.
A turntable, like, when you say a turntable, like a record player? I'm sorry, I know I'm old. That's what I think about when I hear a turntable. Is a record player.
You need a lazy Susan.
Oh.
No, I'm asking.
Oh. Let's see what she means. I forgot to put in the white tea. Can I fire myself? Is that allowed? We'll just put primer over while we make up our minds what we want to do. Any recommendations, baby, if we should use dark wax or metallic? No? Let's vote. Should I do metallic or should we do a white with wax? You guys can vote while I prep. I'm going to put a super thin coat of primer on these.
Kathleen Uba says you're going to make me yell.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she meant Lazy Susan.
Okay, Lazy Susan. Well, you can just tell me, baby, and then I'll repeat it.
Kathleen Uba says do the label this with wax.
Oh, so the label metallic and then the leaves white with wax. That's a good idea. Actually, that's a really good idea.
Everybody else is saying dark wax.
I like the idea of just the one being metallic and the other ones just being with the wax. I mean, I could just use the primer. It'd be nice if it were a warmer white, but I guess it really doesn't matter because I'm going to be going over it with the dark wax anyways. So I'm going to put the primer on and dry that because I cannot find my white chalk style paint. But I am going to take the time to seal it because if I were to put dark wax right over the top of this primer, it would suck all that wax in right away and it would just be super dark and I wouldn't have any control. So I'm going to put on a layer, and that's true for any chalk style paint, you guys. So even if I was using a chalk style paint and I was going to put wax over it, you really want to seal it first so that you have more control over how much of that dark wax is absorbed. And if all you use is wax, then you'll use a clear wax first, and then you'll put the dark wax on top after you put the clear wax on and buff it a little bit. I like to use a sealer first, and then I put the wax on top of my sealer. I feel like that's the best of both worlds. It's hard to replace the look of wax. It's so beautiful, but I do think that the water-based sealers offer a better protection over time than the wax does. So for me, this is, according to Royce, this is my opinion. I like to use a sealer first and then go over with my waxes. Hey, Heidi. I love a little bit of metallic too. My favorite is the pale gold from, oh Lord, what's the name of their company? Oh, Posh Pigments. Their mica is so fine. I really do love it. So you don't look like you have glitter. It actually looks like you have like a metallic paint when you're done. So I'm going through right now, you guys, with my brush because these molds have so much detail and they don't want to fill it up with paint, right? So I'm just taking my brush and going through and kind of pulling out some of that paint so it doesn't fill up all my details. Paint, primer, you know. I kind of want to add a complement to all of the orange. Let's look at our color wheel. So the orange on the paper lives somewhere in here, like an orange red. So like a blue green. So if I did like a really dark teal color, that would be a nice complement on that piece. And since we're talking about putting metallic on this one, I think I want to paint it a dark teal color, which I generally have handy because that's my favorite. I honestly don't have a lot of white chalk paint because I don't paint very many things white. I mean, I do to like decoupage them, but it could be any way. What the what? Ooh, I see a green tail right here too that I can use. So I'm gonna dry this a little bit and then we'll circle back to our decoupage and see how it's doing. You saw me pour this extra mold right here. It's just because I had a little extra resin in my cup, and so rather than waste it, I'll just pour it in the mold. And that's not full, but it'll still be a really cool, it'll just be a really thin piece that I can still use on something.
Asked, have you ever used uniform spit metallic paint?
You know, I have not.
You got the
Okay, so Kate's asking if I ever use unicorn spit metallic what? Metallic paints. I haven't. I remember when unicorn spit came out years ago. I don't know if I ever tried it. I haven't. I don't think I've ever tried it before. So I'll have to check it out. And honestly, there was a time where I carried different brands, and I don't do that anymore. So it does free me up to try different things, more things. I mean, I've always been a little bit of a rebel about it. I try all the things, and of course, I never expect you guys to be loyal to any one brand because the reality is, brands generally do like a few things really well. You know what I mean? Like I know people who don't carry Wise Owl. They don't carry anything else, but they carry their primer because Wise Owl primer is bomb. I'm not saying this is the only thing that they do well, but you know, different brands have different things that they do really well. So as a customer, you use what works for you. You don't have to be committed to any one brand. So I'm gonna let those dry by themselves. Let me set this over here. And let's take a look. I'm going to have to do a little bit of drying on this before we can take the excess paper off. Should I worry about the inside, you guys? I'm so jealous that you got to meet Dina Wakely. I do want to meet her. And you got to go to Sedona. So Dorothy went to Sedona to go to another art retreat. She's just traversing all over the country, creating art everywhere. Maybe paint the inside. Tina's asking, what watercolor pencils do I recommend? You know what? The brand that I have, I explored like a really bougie brand at the thrift store. It's really good, but I don't want to recommend them because they are really expensive. But there is a brand. You know what? I'll post a list later because I was thinking about that earlier today that I need now that we have the paintable papers that I really need to be able to recommend some products. I do have some watercolor pencils in the house that I really love, but I forgot the name of them. So I'll look that up, Tina, and I'll post it later. Oh, it was in Prescott. My bad. And I generally like to dry my paper before I trim it because I want the paper to cut. I don't want it to tear. And so I'm really focusing on the top where I need to trim because I know we can go back to the molds to paint. It's 5:56 already. Where does the time go, you guys? As I sand this off, I'm like, oh, my numbers. Oh, that came off. But I couldn't get it all on there, so. Although if I really wanted this, I could cut this off and decoupage it right over the top of the paper, and you wouldn't really be able to tell. But I would have to do it before I put product on top of it. So. And I already know that I wanted to wax the can after we got it decoupaged. So I want to grunge up those edges a little bit. Oh, I guess I could have done that, huh? No. Oh, that would have been a good idea. Why you guys didn't tell me before I started sanding? That would have been a really good idea, Dorothy, because then I wouldn't have to really deal with the top. It would look nice and clean. Okay, so Dorothy is saying, so you're not going to fold the paper over the top. That would have been a really good idea. I'm going to do it now because you told me to. And then we'll just have that one area that we'll have to deal with. Oh, man. So, yes, I'm going to fold the paper over the edges because then if I put something in, you can't really see it. That's a good way to deal with that. The one thing I do like about this product is the consistency of it. It has body, but it's not super thick, but it's thicker than like the liquid would be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, let me think, what food would be like? I don't know. Because it's not as thick as like mayonnaise. It's like ranch dressing. So it has body, but it's not super thick.
Gypsy root, can you reuse the scrap paper even if it only is medium?
You can reuse it, even if it has medium. Oh, okay. I have to get used to it, baby. I know. It's okay if you remind me. Just you don't have to press it. So the question is, can you reuse scraps even if they have decoupage medium on them? Absolutely, you can. Just know that the paper is going to be, it's going to feel a little bit thicker. So you may have to use a little bit more medium or use a medium that has a little bit more body. But yes, you can use it.
Hometown handmade anchor.
So the medium that I'm using tonight is by Artisan Experiments. This is I don't think it's a newer brand. It's new to me. They do a lot of, from my research I've done, like furniture. They're like a traditional furniture refurbishing brand, but I think that their products would work really well in what we do too. So they sent me a box to experiment with. So that's what I'm doing. So far, I'm really digging the consistency of this medium. And it says transfer gel on it. So I guess you can use it for transfers, decoupage. Now I have to figure out, I sanded this one, so I'm going to go ahead and decoupage it on the inside, and I don't know. I'll figure out something to do with that, with this edge. I started sanding the edge off, and then Dorothy recommended that I just fold it over, which was a very good idea. I'm generally open to ideas. So if you're new here and you see me doing something and you have a suggestion, please let us know. Oh, look, even that area that I sanded ended up looking pretty good. You can't really tell. Okay, so we'll let this dry while. And so if you're new here, I want to show you something really quickly. So you see how the paper on the outside, you can see the artwork super easy. It's really bright. But when you look on the inside, it's not as vibrant. It's because I decoupage right over this darker background. So that's the difference between like decoupaging over a darker background versus decoupaging over white. It really does make your art pop more. So I'll set this to the side while we work on our resin bits.
Yeah, this is how would you use it as a transfer?
So old school transfers, you would take an image like on a piece of paper, and you would decoupage it, or you would glue it on something face down, and you let it dry and cure there, and then you would mist it, and you would rub off the paper pulp, and just the image would be left behind. So it's that kind of a transfer medium, not necessarily the rub-on transfers like we're used to using. I started off doing transfers. I used to do massive transfers on furniture, you guys. Craziness. So I have these pieces. I'm going to use this piece of paper right here. And I'm going to seal these really quickly. I don't think, I probably could have used that decoupage medium, but I'm going to go ahead and just use a little bit of matte varnish. This is just Wise Owl's matte varnish. And I'm going to put this over the top of this. And I'm going to put the wax right on top of this. I am. I know that's terrible, but we don't have time for me to search for the right color paint. And it's going to be warm by the time we get finished with the wax anyway. I think we'll be good. And I may hit the high points with a little bit of metallic. And I just want to seal this to make sure that it doesn't absorb that dark wax too much. You can always add more, but if your paint sucks up a lot of wax, then you have no control over how dark it gets. I'll have to demonstrate a transfer, an old school transfer one of these days on live. It really is cool. It's just kind of a pain, but it's a cool way to be able to get images to your work. And actually, I do have a hack for it too. I have two hacks to transfers because you can be rubbing paper for an eternity. One of the ladies that was on a live yesterday, she made me laugh because she said that she used to do so many that she didn't think she had fingerprints left, because that's how it feels. Because you rub off a ton of paper pulp, like a ton, off of the back. You have to rub away all the paper, and then all that's left is the image. Let's see, what color is this? This is Siren Song. This is a little brighter one, but I'm going to use it because If I don't like how bright it is, I can just put some wax on it, some dark wax, and tone it down, right? And I'm shaking. I know I shouldn't be shaking up my paints because you put bubbles in it. It'll be fine. I break all the rules. When you're using your paints, don't shake them because then you get bubbles. Use a stir stick. But do as I say, not as I do. This teal is a little bright, but it's okay. We'll just put some dark wax over it and knock it back a little bit, and it will be fine. And you can either use a dark wax or a dark glaze. So if you've done something, like maybe you chose colors and you painted it, and then when you step back, it feels really bright to you, seal it first, and then you can either put a layer of dark wax or a dark glaze over the top, and it'll really neutralize those colors so that they aren't as bright. Which is what I'm going to have to do here. This is a little brighter than I wanted. We're going to make it work like Tim Dunn, who is not on Project Runway this season. I'm very upset about that. Kathleen O'Brien says, I forget in the transfer process you need a special image. Is it a laser image, not inkjet? So I prefer inkjet just because it's easier. I mean, I prefer a laser. You can use inkjet. It's just that inkjet wink, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times the home printers that we have for inkjet, the ink is, it'll run when it gets wet. And so that's why, like most of the time, you hear people say to use a laser jet. But you can use an inkjet. You just have to fix it first. So you may want to spray it with like a clear coat before you start your image transfer process, so it doesn't run all over the place. But if that's what you have, then that's what you can do. I have both printers because sometimes on different projects, the inkjet is better. Okay. That teal is really bright. Oh, it doesn't even look that bright on TV. How funny. I mean, on the screen, it looks more blue. Oh, how weird. This is really green. It is not the color that I'm seeing on the screen. It's like a blue-green, but it's more green than blue, and it looks like a periwinkle. Does it look periwinkle to you, babe? Like a purpley? So I'll have to do that one of these days, you guys. They are fun, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in that you can print out anything and do an image transfer, right? There's just a lot of. So Jen says that she sprays hers with cheap hairspray and let it dry, and then the colors don't run. Like Aquanet, is that what you mean, Jen, when you say cheap? You guys remember the Aquanet. Don't try to play like you don't remember. You remember. I'm like working fast now because I know I'm running out of time. We have to get this mic thing fixed because I don't like David being quiet. I'm sure you guys don't like it either. Hey, Christina. So I'm sealing this because I know I'm going to use that dark wax over the top. Although I'm not going to be able to wax it. I may have to just use, okay. So this is, we're going to have a conversation about layering. So the wax that I have is wax-based. I know that Dixie Belle has like a water-based wax. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I know they have one. So if I were to wax this first and then try to go with my metallic, it wouldn't work because I would mix my metallic with a matte varnish. I wonder what would happen if I mixed my metallic with wax, though. Let's do some experimenting. Let's see what happens. We're going to let this dry. I'm going to wax it. And normally I would mix my pigment with a water-based clear coat, but we're going to mix it with the wax. And then we can use the wax as a final coat over our high points for this. And let's get these dried so that we can, I think I want to put them on the can before we wax it. The can. It's not a can. You guys don't know. Dorothy says she uses Aquanet. Yeah, Cindy, it really depends on the inkjet printer, how water fast the inks are. Your best bet is to set that ink. So I guess the ladies are saying you can use cheap hairspray to set it even. It looks green-blue on the yellowish mold. Okay. Maybe it's just the way it's looking on my monitor. Colors are weird. We don't always, it doesn't always translate on the monitor the way it's going to be. That's kind of a cool shape. I might have to remember that shape for something else. Look at that. Oh, wait, I'm going the wrong way. That way. And I'm working really fast tonight. I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm trying to finish. I want to actually complete a project. Because y'all know if I tell you guys I'm going to finish it, it's probably not going to get finished unless I come back and finish it with you. I'm just putting some paper down so I don't get my surface dirty. And my poor little wax brush. This is my little brush that I use to wax my projects. It's either this brush or like a round brush like this. I don't know why. This one actually has salve in it, is why it's so thick. Hey, Miss Jane, how are you? Oh my gosh, Jane and I are planning something so fun. I don't know if I can say anything yet, but it's a coming. So Jane will be here for the Recycled Retreat in April. I am super grateful. We'll also be together in Tennessee in July for the 127 sale. And then we're planning something else too. But oh, the retreat information. Yes. If you are interested in coming to the retreat, I do have the QR code for that right here. I told myself I was going to wait to put this on the can to put wax on it, and then I said that and waxed it. And you guys just let me. You didn't even say anything. But if you guys are interested in the retreat, there's a QR code. You can just use your phone, and a link should come up. You won't have to purchase if you go to the page. It's just more information about the retreat. I am so excited. I know we have people here who went to last year's retreat. I don't know if you guys could share your experience. That would be awesome, so that people who didn't come can hear about like why they should come. Right? And so I told myself I was going to wait, and then I freaking put wax on here. But I'm putting the wax on, and then I'm wiping it off of the high points so that all my details just really pop. And it's still going to warm up the high points because there's still going to be some wax on there, just not as much. But I'm losing some flexibility, so I'm going to hurry up and get these glued to my can. I may have to wax it first, though. I might as well do the other one. We'll see how this plays out. So I'm going to have to apply a little bit of heat to make these flexible. And I also don't know how I'm going to tape them down now. The order of things is important. You guys know that? I should have. Well, I couldn't really tape it over the paper anyway. I'm gonna have to hold it. We'll see what happens. And I'm really pushing that wax down into my details and making sure I always miss my edges when I'm waxing. So I like to make sure that I get the edges of my pieces. Even when I'm painting, I think sometimes we're so focused on the top that we miss the edges. And so I like to just push that wax on there, make sure it's on, into all the crevices. feel like my camera should be closer. Has anybody said anything? Oh my gosh, I know. Thank you, Robin. Oh, Robin, did my customer reach out to you yesterday? I sent her your information. And I'm just wiping that wax back off of the high top or like the high areas of my piece. This is a really cool way. Sometimes when you have intricate designs and everything is the same color, you lose sight of all those details. So waxing is a beautiful way to highlight the details in your work. Okay, so don't they look prettier once they're waxed? And now I have to figure out how I want to use them. I feel like this is a like something I don't want to cover, and I don't necessarily want to cover all that either. So um, I use Annie Sloan's wax for this piece. Annie Sloan's dark wax is what I use. I use a lot of different waxes, but Annie Sloan's my favorite dark because it's a rich brown. It's not like a flat brown, and so I really do love it. It's gonna like float above a little bit, but I think I kind of like that. Like it's gonna poke up a little bit. So I'm thinking I put it on like this, and then I put my in the middle. I almost said a bad word, baby, but I didn't say it. I put that in the middle. So let's go ahead and get these glued on. I like Tight Bond Quick and Thick because it like grabs your project right away. Some glues you put them on and you're like slipping and sliding forever waiting for it to adhere. But Quick Bond adheres like pretty quick. I'm being pretty generous, but I like to stay away from the edges though. So I'll put a lot of glue, but I don't like to go all the way to the edges because when I smush it, it's gonna go out to the edges anyways. But I'm less likely to end up with glue. Why did I put glue on the top knowing it's gonna be sticking out? And I'm gonna have to heat this up a little bit to get it to bend, which is why I wanted to wait to wax it. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna have to hold that. You know, I don't even think I have my hot glue gun out. A better plan, oops, I gotta make sure it doesn't go. I don't want it sticking out on the bottom because then I won't be able to sit my pot down. Would be to use my hot glue in conjunction with the Quick and Thick. Oh, good, 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 good. Hey, Tammy, I loved your paintable pumpkins. They were so pretty. Have you guys tried that? I was gonna do a paintable decoupage paper today, but I figured I'd give you guys a break. So I did not paint paper today. But it is so exciting seeing more and more of you doing projects with the paintable paper. It is so fun and relaxing. My piece isn't flat. I'm going to put a little bit more glue in there. So what's happening is I didn't put enough resin in my mold. And so my middle is like concave, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put a little bit more glue in there to try to fill up the space. And I'm gonna have to clean up a lot of glue. I'm gonna heat up a little bit just to try to get rid of some of the resistance, right? It wants to pop off because it wants to go straight. So if I heat it up, then I can eliminate that stress. And if I wipe the wax off, I can always go back in and put more wax. And this glue will dry clear, but I still try to get rid of excess glue. While it's still wet. So Kathleen is asking, how do I clean up the glue? While it's still wet, I just take a brush and clean it up. But I don't want to let it dry on there before I start cleaning it up. So I usually just go around with a brush and just brush that glue off before it dries. You know what, Grinzer? Gert, I was going to try that tonight because I have seen Lynn do that so that it stays softer. But I didn't have a measuring cup and I was afraid. I was scared because if I didn't put enough hardener, I didn't want to end up with a bunch of goop inside of my my mold. So I did not do it tonight. I'm not going to fight with the second one. If we can get this one to at least adhere. What I should have done, I want you guys to take note, is I should have had my glue gun out and ready. And I could have had my glue gun hold this down while my glue sets. That would have been optimum. But I don't even have my glue gun pulled out right now. So it's not really an option. We're going to be finishing up in just a minute. And see, I have this side too. Another thing you can do if your molds are really stiff like this, like I could clip it right here, and that would also make it easier to lay down. Hey, Janet, how are you? Can you believe how long it's been since we met at Thieves Market in Tempe? Like, oh my gosh. But you see how the heat just makes it so that it's not more malleable? And I feel like the heat helps the glue too. I know with wood bend, we usually heat it up. And there's a new product we learned about in my membership yesterday. I've ordered it, but it's not here yet. But it's a product used specifically to glue down resin pieces. And it comes with a little pin, like with the little UV pin. So cool. It's on its way. I'm going to experiment with that too.
Okay, two questions. Gypsy features tape glue on the deck.
So Ruth is asking if I could use blue painter's tape. If I had decoupaged this like yesterday, I'd probably be okay to tape it down. But because we just barely decoupaged it and that sealer really hasn't set yet, I would be remiss to do that because I think it would ultimately mess up my decoupage. But if my decoupage had time to like set, I wouldn't be afraid. So we are finally there. It's glued. Oh, this camera is killing me.
Good asks if you try using 2 parts A to 1 part B to make it flexible.
Yeah, that's what I just answered. I was afraid to do that tonight. No, you're fine, babe. I was afraid. So she's asking, so Lynn Brundage showed how you could use less hardener when you mix up your resin so that it stays flexible, which is really, really cool. And I'm sure it's going to work, but I didn't have a measuring cup tonight. And so I was being chicken. So I did not try it. I probably could tie a string or something around it. Okay. I think I'm good. And honestly, part of the problem is the back of my piece is not like flat. It's concaved in the middle because I didn't pour enough resin in there. That's going to be really pretty though. Let me get rid of me. I do not need to be on the screen. Man, I don't like the limitations of this. I'll have to get used to it. Okay. I was trying to remove me because you guys don't need to see me, but then my audio gets removed if I remove myself. I want to work on the other piece. I feel trapped. I have a clamp somewhere. That would work. Okay. I'm going to let it go. So it'll be this piece right here, and then the other piece will mirror right here, and I want to put this piece in the middle, but I want us to work on the middle piece. I know, baby. That's why I'm trying to hurry. Okay, so this piece, we have our last experiment. I'm going to put that to the side, and I will fight with that later. So we painted this. This color is a little bright for me, so we're going to add some wax to this. And that's going to like tone it down a little bit so it's not so bright. Because the colors on the paper are really like rich. Nothing is really like, doesn't really pop off the page necessarily. And so we want to make sure that tonally this is going to be the same. So we're going to add a little wax. Oh, that's gorgeous. I wish, can you guys see that color? On my screen, it looks a weird color, but I'm going to assume you guys can see it. It's a gorgeous color now. That just deepened it and made it look so rich. I love it, love it, love it. So because I put wax on it, normally you guys see me take my my Posh pigment and we mix it with water-based sealer in order to make like a metallic paint, right? So for tonight, I can't do that because we use wax first. So we'll use this piece of paper. So tonight I'm going to try mixing the Posh pigment with a little bit of clear wax. And I have Debbie's DIY clear wax on my table tonight. So that is what we're going to use. And I don't need a ton, that's probably too much. And we're going to just add a little bit of that pigment to the wax so that we can add that metallic and not have to worry about it cracking off. So if you put a water-based product on top of an oil or wax-based product, generally speaking, that water base is going to eventually flake off. And so by making our little wax mixture, we can still add our metallic and we don't have to worry about it flaking off later. And I'm just rubbing right across the details of this. I keep going the wrong way because the camera is opposite. just over the high points. Although I do think I want that middle bit to be maybe. And that's it. So we have all of our pieces made. So I'll have to add everything. I don't want to fight with more than one piece at a time. So I'll have to heat this up and add it. But let's take a look and see if we can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Oh, that color is so pretty. And so this is going to be a nice color against all those other like reds, oranges, and yellows. And then this will be on the other side, kind of flanking it. I think it's going to be really pretty. So I will take a picture when it's done, and I will show you guys my final products. So be sure and look out for the YouTube video on Tuesday, because that's when I'll post it. And so you guys will get to see more of my trip that I took to. I keep removing the wrong one. I'm gonna get it together eventually, y'all. But you guys are going to see more about my trip to the label place where I was able to pick up so much stuff. And for those of you who came in late, we were upcycling like a label core, like you would have in the middle of like your paper towel, but obviously it's a lot bigger and more thicker. And I just added the bottom with tape, and then we decoupaged it, and we created some really pretty molds that we're able to put on here. I might cut that top. I don't know. It kind of, I don't know. I kind of like the way that looks. We'll see what happens. But I'll finish this, and then I will post the finished product, and you guys can see that we were able to make this super cute containers with something that I pulled out of the waste bin at the manufacturer. So this would have, I don't know if it made to landfill, but they try to reuse as much as possible. Maybe I should have gone with a simple thing. I'm gonna save this one. I kind of like that. I poured it really thin because I didn't have enough resin, but I kind of like it. But that's all I have tonight, unless you guys had, hey Kelly, you can put the tinted wax in an air dry container to use on other projects rather than waste it. Oh, I won't waste it, girl. It's probably going to go in one of these. I love these containers. They're silicone, so nothing sticks to them. So it'll probably end up with one of my silicone containers. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed our project tonight. There weren't a lot of questions tonight. And we're going to get the mic thing figured out because I think you guys missed David. There was no talk about music or movies or hockey. I love my hockey season. Baby, what season is it? Football? Oh, football starts in a week. Ooh, Ruru 2 says that mold would make a great Greek hairpiece for Halloween. You saw that, didn't you? Like, just because it's on here, you can see that. If you had like a headband and you could have these on either side, it would be like, who was it? Achilles? Is that who it was? Who flew too close to the sun? You don't know the Greek god? I used to love Greek mythology in middle school. Anyways, I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. We will not be back next Sunday, but we'll be back the following Sunday. We will be on Whatnot on Friday. My show is already scheduled, so make sure that you guys bookmark. I have so much good stuff. I have stuff left over from my barn pick, and we found some other stuff, and George has been busy making you guys some scrap wood craft project pieces. So I hope you guys will join us on Friday. Until then, you guys have a blessed week. And you guys remember, everything is an experiment. Where curiosity goes, creativity follows. You guys have a good week. We'll see you next time.